And
good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. President Obama says he is now in favor of same-sex marriage. This after previously saying the union should only be between a man and a woman. Today's announcement not only signaled a major course change in policy, but also ended months of the speculation that the president was softening his stance on the issue. We have two reports for you tonight. WVUA Sarah Chavnik has reaction from people in West Alabama. But first, we begin in Washington with Sandra Endo.
Obama is reversing his stance on same-sex marriage. He previously said marriage should be between a man and a woman, but said he supported civil unions. Now in an interview with ABC News, he explains why he says he supports marriage between same-sex couples.
At a certain point, I've just concluded that for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
In the interview, the president explained why he didn't believe in same-sex marriages in the past.
I was sensitive to the fact that for a lot of people, the word marriage was something that evokes very powerful traditions, religious beliefs, and so forth.
But President Obama says his views on the issue have evolved, and he now believes in fairness for same-sex couples and their right to get married. Republican rival Mitt Romney is standing by his opposing views.
My view is that domestic partnership benefits, hospital visitation rights and the like are appropriate, but that the others are not.
It's a hot-button political issue, especially for President Obama, who needs to shore up support with the LGBT community and younger voters who embrace same-sex marriages. In Washington, I'm Sandra Endo.
Back here in Alabama, the announcement by President Obama sparked discussion of what is to come next. WVUA Sarah Chavnik has more on what people in Tuscaloosa believe the move could mean.
It's about time.
That was the opinion shared by LGBT activists like Alex Hollinghead after President Obama came out in support of gay marriage. The announcement comes hot on the heels of a North Carolina vote Tuesday stating marriage should be a union only shared between a man and a woman. Many of those in Alabama who support same-sex unions feel it's going to take national legislation for changes in the South.
Historically, there's just been a trend of the southeastern United States being the last people on the bus for things like this. That's why the civil rights movement happened here, and I don't expect that this will be any different.
Down here, demographically, in areas like Alabama, Mississippi, the lower South, it's always going to be that cringe factor, like I said, where people aren't going to accept it because of the way they were raised, the culture that we live in, religion plays a big factor.
WVUA also encountered several people who are opposed to same-sex marriage, but many declined to go on camera. Pastor Chris Denson stresses to his congregation that while the church has strict values when it comes to who you can marry, it does not discriminate against who to love.
Sometimes the church is looked at as being pretty condemning of people that are of a homosexual background. I'm not saying we're rewriting the Bible. Our United Methodist General Conference just affirmed that, we still hold to some biblical principles there. But I think love is more important.
For WVUA News, I'm Sarah Chavnik.
And nationally, leaders of some of the nation's largest religious dominations are expressing distress and sadness at President Obama's announcement today. New York Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who heads the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, says Obama's remarks, quote, undermine the institution of marriage, the very cornerstone of our society. Turning now to tonight's Home Team Education Watch, Alabama teachers could see a loss in jobs in the current proposed education budget passes. An Alabama House panel approved a plan today that, if passed by the legislature, would eliminate 350 positions. Spending on things like school supplies, though, will go up. Today, Governor Bentley said he will sign into law a bill that will increase the classroom budget for teachers. WVUA's Taylor Sanders with more.
For the past 2 years, Alabama teachers have suffered from the harsh economy, but educators could see an increase in the amount of money they receive for school supplies.
It'll be a big benefit for the teachers to help with supplies for their classrooms. This past year, they only received $134, and 2 years ago, they didn't receive anything from the state.
That's why Governor Robert Bentley plans to sign a bill that would provide $300 to every classroom starting in August.
this whole past year. They've been appreciative that they got the $134, but that doesn't go very far.
The $300 stipend would help teachers buy the things that are necessary for their classroom without having to pay so much out of pocket.
Teachers a lot of times will take money out of their own pockets for the classrooms whenever they see a need, if it's something for a science lab or materials that they might need.
And Kelly says, despite financial burdens, the teachers make it work.
You never hear the complaints. You just hear about what they're going to do next.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Taylor Sanders, WVUA News.
Changes are coming to your children's school lunches. Cafeterias all across the country are stepping up their nutrition standards in an effort to take a bite out of childhood obesity. Schools are being required to have more whole grains, more fiber, and more fruits and vegetables. They are also encouraging schools to get away from so much sodium. Next year, the biggest changes your child will see will be in the milk, buns, and rolls. Flavored milk will be fat-free, and they will also offer 1% in skim milk. Also, half of the grains served should be whole grain. Schools like Tuscaloosa County are trying to implement that with whole grain buns and rolls. The county schools director of child nutrition, Stanley Horde, says while schools are taking steps to help children, it doesn't stop there.
It has to be 24 hours a day. It has to be all the meals. You know, we do breakfast and lunch for them. And it's got to, it's got to be the whole thing, snacks and everything.
And Horde says it's not clear what effect the new standards will have on school lunch prices since the cost of food fluctuates. These new standards apply to students across the nation. Well, the U.S. Postal Service is backing off of a previous plan to close 13,000 rural post offices. Instead, it will cut hours at facilities in an effort to save $500 million a year. The move is in response to a backlash against the massive closures. The agency also plans to force thousands of employees to start part-time hours from their current full-time positions. Now to the latest on the foiled terrorist plot. FBI Director Robert Mueller is urging Congress to renew surveillance authority to stop terrorism plots like the last one. Those security measures are set to expire at the end of this year. Now, during a covert operation in Yemen, the CIA intercepted a bomb designed to be hidden in underwear. Officials say a double agent working for the CIA was given the bomb and turned the device over to authorities. Mueller told a House panel that the bomb seized resembled others from al-Qaeda, also known as the AQAP.
AQAP has attempted several attacks on the United States, including the failed Christmas Day airline bombing in 2009, and the attempted bombing of U.S.-bound cargo planes in 2010. And of course, we in the Bureau are currently exploiting an IED, improvised explosive device seized overseas, which is similar to the devices used by AQAP in the past.
The Transportation Security Administration has advised some international air carriers about security measures that might prevent an attack from a hidden explosive. Well, let's get our first check at Alabama's home team forecast. For that, here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott.
Hey, John, good Wednesday evening to you. Temps are getting kind of cool tonight. Feels great out there. 63 in Tuscaloosa. Low humidity values around 59 back in Greenwood. Many places going to be well down in the 50s late tonight and early tomorrow morning. Some upper 40s are even possible across some of our northern counties out there. Fayette, Jasper points north. Rain's out here now. No more rain to deal with over the next couple of days. We will enjoy plenty of sun, nice conditions. By the way, bus stop forecast tomorrow morning. Thursday morning, 7 o'clock, around 52. A good supply of sun. A nice warm up during the day. But what about the rest of that forecast and your all-important Mother's Day weekend forecast? Weather's coming up, so stay with us.
Joran Vandersloot may soon be in the U.S. to face criminal charges in connection with the Natalie Holloway case, despite his wishes to remain in Peru. Now, Vandersloot allegedly accepted $25,000 after promising to lead Holloway's mother's lawyer to Holloway's body. He is currently in a Peruvian prison for the murder of another woman. Vandersloot's attorney says a long-standing extradition treaty between Peru and the U.S. could mean he'll be